If you've ever killed a plant and thought, maybe I'm just not a plant person, I promise it wasn't you, it was the plant. Let me show you 5 easy houseplants that'll make you feel like a plant wizard without even trying. Hey guys, my name is Chris. Welcome back to Thankfully Packed, where I share weekly houseplant and gardening content here on YouTube for beginners and beyond. So if that's your vibe, make sure to like and subscribe. Today I'm showing you 5 super easy houseplants that you can keep alive, I promise. They're low effort, forgiving, and actually cute. They don't need much, they'll forgive you if you forget about them, and they won't end up looking like sad grocery store lettuce in a few weeks. First up, Pothos. My favorite. This is the ride or die bestie of houseplants. She grows fast, she forgives everything, and roots in water like it's her job. So if you want to make more plants, this is the one you need. If you fail with the Pothos, something else is going on, okay? Either the plant has a disease or something, or I don't know, something's going on with you, okay? Because this plant is almost impossible to completely kill. And like I said, it propagates so easily that even if you somehow kill the mother plant, which is like the main one, you will definitely be able to keep her going on through all the propagations that you're definitely going to want to have. Because look at these long trailing vines. These are perfect propagation vines because they have large spaces in between the leaves, so the stem is perfect to just snip right before the node, and then you can prop that in water and I promise you, it will root. I love this plant for beginners as well because it will show you when it's thirsty. So if you forget to water your plants, this one is a great one to have because you can see visually that it needs water before it dies. But as soon as you give it a good drink of water, after like an hour or two, maybe less, they'll bounce right back. For this plant specifically, bright indirect light helps it grow very lush and very long quickly, but it'll still do super fine in low light. So if you don't have a window directly facing it or any natural light near it, you can still keep this plant, I promise. This Pothos specifically that I'm showing you is the neon Pothos, and this one really prefers super bright light so that it can keep its really bright, beautiful color. However, you can also get other ones that don't require as much. There's the classic Jade Pothos, which is all green, which I'm sure you've seen somewhere, and that one really can do well in low light. This is my Marble Queen Pothos, which as you can see has this really pretty variegation in it, so the leaves tend to have a green and then like a lighter cream color to it, which I think is gorgeous. However, this is another example that if you don't give it a lot of light, it will start to turn a little darker. So like up here, you can see this leaf is completely green, no variegation because I've had it in like sort of a dark corner. However, it's still growing. It's still doing fine. If you care and you really want the variegation back, all you have to do is put it near a window or give it some bright grow lights because this is the same leaf, or the same vine rather, that green one is on. And as you can see, it's already spitting out that nice variegation again. So that's all you have to do. Next up, snake plants or Sansevieria. These plants do not need your attention. Honestly, they kind of want you to leave them alone. This is like the introvert of houseplants. So if you don't want to do too much with your plants, just get one of these. Seriously, if you want to forget to water this for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it'll be cool. Just don't overdo it because overwatering is usually how people tend to kill this plant. It's also really great for places with no natural light, so it's super good for places like an office or maybe a sad little corner. Just remember that this plant can survive in low light, but it will appreciate if you do give it some light. It'll grow faster for you. What I like to do with mine is let it completely dry out. I mean, I'm talking the soil all the way to the bottom is completely dried out. Then I give it a super good soak. So I don't water it often, but when I do water it, it gets some water, okay? It'll be thirsty. Then I let it drain and put it back where it belongs, and you're good for another 3 weeks. These two are very common, and I'm sure if you walk into your local hardware store, you will see this type of Sansevieria or snake plant in that section. However, they come in so many different varieties that if this isn't your vibe, I'm sure there is another one with different colors that you will definitely enjoy. Next up is the ZZ plant. This is the unbothered queen of houseplants. Tolerates low light, skips watering, and somehow comes back looking gorgeous every time. The leaves on this plant are super glossy, which honestly kind of makes them look fake, but in a good way. And it comes in different colors. This is the normal ZZ plant, but there's also this super dark black one that is absolutely amazing. It's gorgeous. And again, if you are a chronic underwaterer or you tend to forget that you even have any houseplants, this is the one for you. It stores its water reserve in these thick rhizomes underground. I can't really show you because it's in a pot right now, but it basically has like this bulbous thing underneath where the roots would be, and that holds so much water, and it really doesn't need much to survive in the first place. So once you give it a watering, kind of like the snake plant, it'll thank you, but then you really don't have to worry about it for a really long time. It can go a couple of weeks or more without your attention at all. This is another one where bright indirect light will help it grow faster, but low light, it'll still survive. Next, a jade plant. This is going to be your intro to succulent life without heartbreak. I have the variegated jade plant, which basically just means it has this pretty green and cream coloring on the leaves and makes it look extra fancy, but it's still super chill. There's also the completely green one, which is even easier to take care of. It stores water in these thick, chunky leaves, so if you forget to water it, it'll show you by shriveling up and getting very visibly dry. Honestly, this is the type of plant that prefers you don't hover over it or do too much because, again, it has its own water reserve in these thick leaves. So if you do too much, if you water it too often, then you'll probably end up killing it. But otherwise, it's super easy and super chill. Just like the snake plant, Sansevieria, that I just showed you, wait until it's completely dry before you water it and then give it a really, really good deep soak. That is the key to keeping this thing alive and happy. Now, because this one has the variegation, the lighter cream in it, it does prefer for me to keep it in the bright light or it'll start to revert. Now, this isn't because of me, this is how I bought it, but you can tell that at first this plant wasn't getting too much bright light because, as you can see, the leaves in the center are pretty green. However, as soon as I put it back into a really bright windowsill or near some bright grow lights, it will start to kick out more of the cream variegation. So any little sunny windowsill is perfect, and if you get a tiny baby one like this, it won't take up much room. Over time, these do tend to look like tiny little trees, so they'll start to grow basically like a little mini bonsai that is way easier to keep, by the way. And yeah, so for now, this one's pretty tiny, but it will start to grow bigger, and I actually can't wait for that. I also really enjoy this plant because, again, it is one of the easier plants to propagate. It's a little slow growing, but all you have to do is pop off one of these leaves, or if it falls off naturally and it's still healthy, just let it callus over for a few days, meaning you just want the tip where it was connected to dry out. Or if you have a bigger plant, you can cut it off from the stem, and then literally all you have to do is stick it into dry soil. That's it. After a few weeks, it'll start to root and grow a whole new plant, and you barely do anything. Super, super low effort. Okay, last but not least, Philodendron Brasil. This is gonna be your splash of color without all the drama, okay? And if you're like me and you like a bushy or a vining plant, this is the one to go for if you're not really into the pothos. This is basically a pothos with prettier stripes. These lime and yellow patches make it look like you're putting in way more effort than you actually are, and it instantly just gives like jungle vibes. This plant grows fast and is super, super forgiving. I actually forgot to water this for maybe a little bit longer than I should have. So maybe, I don't know if you can tell, but it is a little bit less perky than it usually is. But honestly, I'm gonna give it a couple hours and it will perk right back up. It's best to let the top like inch or two of soil dry out before you water it again. But again, if you forget to water it once in a while, it's no big deal. Another bright indirect light bestie, but it can sort of handle medium light as well. What you will see, sort of like the variegated pothos, is that some of the leaves can revert back to kind of a solid heart leaf philodendron look if you don't give it the light that it needs, because that cream variegation does require some light. Also, propagating, again, super easy because you can always make more plants at home. And all you have to do is just cut right above a node, pop it into water, and wait. It will root. Also, this plant grows super, super fast, so if you're looking for a really rewarding plant that's not a pothos, this is the one. I recently propagated a bunch of these vines and it's already growing really long and lush again. I love it. All right, guys, if you're a beginner or you're looking to turn a couple of your friends into houseplant parents too, these are definitely the 5 that I would start with. They don't need a lot from you and they'll make you feel like you actually know what you're doing, especially when you're starting out. I feel like it's discouraging when your plants keep dying, but these will be very forgiving, I promise. But these 5 are pretty much foolproof, so if you're looking to start somewhere here. If you have any questions like which plant is best for you considering your lighting, your humidity, how you water, or if you're just trying to figure out how to not kill it, drop it in the comments and I will try to help you out because, again, I am a beginner myself, but I will try my best to help you with what I know. So let me know which one you're thinking of trying or if you need help picking one for your space. I post a combo of gardening and houseplant content here on YouTube weekly, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back next week for more. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!